Roommate called you ugly? Neighbor stole your parking spot? Stepdad stole grandma's necklace? All that and more on Snacktime Reddit. Welcome back to another episode of Snacktime Reddit, where we go and scour Reddit for the craziest internet stories we can find. This time, we're taking a lot of our stories from our petty revenge.
Ooh.
With me, I have Amara, first-time guest on Chicken for Breakfast.
Thank you.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
I got Johnny, who is not supposed to be appearing here, but here he is for his debut, Snacktime Reddit.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thanks for being here, Amar.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Let's get right into it.
Wait, what's our subreddit today?
Our petty revenge.
Our petty revenge.
Our petty revenge. So
I love
this
that.
is going to be
Yeah.
That's
gonna
petty
be good.
revenge of the highest order. I took a quick look through everything we got today. I think the titles are really going to make you know, there's some good ones in here. There's some good ones.
Cool. I'm excited.
So let's get right into it. My hospital roommate called me ugly. I shut her up. All right, our petty revenge. When I was a sophomore in college, my appendix ruptured, and I spent a couple weeks in the hospital, off and on during various infections and surgery. During my first hospital stay, I shared a room with an older Russian woman who had just had a gastric bypass. I never said a word to her and just kind of kept to myself watching TV and chatting with my mom when she came to visit. I felt kind of bad that I had to walk my IV pole past her to use the bathroom because I didn't want to disturb her, so I tried to be as quiet as possible and limit the number of trips I made. This lady had a habit of talking really loudly on the phone to her daughter, and since she'd heard me speaking English with my mom, I guess she assumed that I couldn't understand her. I started learning Russian as a freshman, so I didn't understand everything she was saying, but I could gather bits and pieces. Real quick, do either of you know anyone who did Russian in like high school or anything like that?
No, I don't even think they taught that in my high school.
I think my high school did, but I don't know anyone who took it.
We did like Spanish and German. That was really it.
Spanish, French. My sister took Chinese. She took 2 years of Chinese.
Wow.
She can still understand very little of it if you speak slowly.
That's pretty.
That's actually cool.
That's tough. I took 5 years of Spanish, and it's all gone.
Oh.
It's all gone.
No say.
One night, the woman is on the phone with her daughter, and she says something to the tune of, "I don't have the room to myself anymore. I'm sharing it with this girl, and she's really ugly." Obviously, I didn't look great because I just had a ruptured appendix and was just trying to stay alive at that point. And I didn't really care what she thought of me. It just irked me that she thought it was okay to talk trash about me to her daughter in front of me just because she thought I couldn't understand her. Plus, I was bored and wanted the satisfaction of making her eat her words. So the next time I was wheeling my IV pole past her to use the bathroom, I put on the sweetest smile and said, "Excuse me," in my best Russian accent. She didn't say anything to me, but she never called her daughter again while I was there because she knew I could understand her every bitchy word.
Dang. This is like my favorite kind of petty revenge, by the way. Like just like making something known and then just never touching it again. It's awesome.
It's a power move. It's a definite power move.
Good for her.
Yeah.
I'm happy she did it. No, good for her.
Yeah.
It shows a lot.
Do either of you have that in you? Is that what you would have done in that situation?
Maybe. I definitely would have said something in Russian. I don't know if it would have been "excuse me." It may have been a longer sentence, but I would have let her know.
Yeah, really hit her with like the dictionary and the thesaurus.
See, I feel like I would have done exactly what she was doing, and I would have also called someone that I knew, even if it was a fake phone call, and also did the same thing. Been in Russian and been like, "Yo."
I feel like that's something where, like, in my head, like, hell yeah, I'd do that, but then I would be like, I'll just keep quiet. I'll let it go.
My thing with the story is like, why is a random lady in the hospital calling another random lady in the hospital ugly?
Yeah, I don't usually like broadcast like that.
We don't usually judge appearances in the hospital.
Yeah,
regardless.
exactly.
You're not, I don't think you're going to look your best 100%.
Yeah, I don't quite understand the concept behind I'm in the hospital, I'm talking to someone, and just for no reason, whether they are or not doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But like, the person next to me is ugly. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, I think too, it's a little weird. Like, I wouldn't call up one of my family members and be like, "Yeah, I'm just hanging out in here," and there's like the ugliest dude in the corner that I've ever seen in my life. Like, that dude crazy. Like, I don't know if I do that. I don't know if that's like, you're in the hospital, lady. I think your daughter wants to hear about how you're doing.
That makes me wonder, this conversation, just because you said that, it had to start somewhere, right? It wasn't just, I didn't just call my daughter just to tell her my roommate was ugly
Maybe it did.
that I've had for the last couple of weeks.
Maybe it did. Maybe it started. Maybe she's like, she's going to the bathroom so often.
Yeah, maybe we have an unreliable narrator.
Yeah, maybe there's something she did in there that kind of set this kind old woman off and drove her to the dark side.
I'm thinking though, like me in the hospital for a couple weeks, and I know I have a Russian roommate and I can speak, just trying to be friends, I probably would have already let her know
That's true too.
that I speak Russian.
Yeah.
Just trying to be nice. So I think I might have missed out. I saw it. No, I agree with her. Follow her route. Just be quiet and let her know when it's time.
Yeah, stealth it out. Stealth it out. Yeah.
That should be like the day you're getting out. You're getting released.
Yeah, I was actually wondering about that. Like, did they have to? Because it said they interacted. Well, they didn't interact anymore, but they were still neighbors for a good minute after they did that. It was like I would have just waited till the end.
Yeah, because if you're still in there with her, then like there's a chance she confronts you, and then it takes all your power away, and then you gotta come back.
They start
You would
arguing in
listen to
Russian.
all of the conversations. Like,
Let's take a little look at some of these comments here.
Absolutely.
Let's start with. Oh, here's someone with a similar experience. This user says, similar experience here. I had learned German while working in the States for a German company. My wife and I were on vacation in Florida, and we were on a tour boat of the Keys when I overheard a German couple complaining loudly about everything, the quality of the food, politeness of the hotel staff, weather, crowds. They moved towards the railing around the ship and pulled out their phones. And I asked, would you both like to be in the photo? No more loud complaints for the rest of the trip. He asked that in German, by the way. It's hard when I'm reading some of this stuff because it's just the language that I don't know, so I can't pronounce any of the words. So that I gotta look further down to find the translation.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that's interesting. I don't know if I've ever, like I said, I took Spanish for a while. I don't think I've ever been in that situation where I'm like able to pull out some like slick Spanish on somebody and like put them in their place. I don't think I've ever been in that situation before.
no, I definitely haven't. I ask my sister to spy all the time, though. She can't. They're talking too fast.
It's hard. If you don't speak it regularly, it just all goes out the window and it's all gone. A former physics professor told me a story where she was the oblivious one. She and a friend were at a conference speaking in their native Polish. It was in the United States, so they thought no one could understand. They were going around the room talking about people, and at one point the gentleman next to them said in perfect Polish, "I can see you're getting around to me. Perhaps you'd skip over me." Who are all these people that like use the power of their second language or another language to just like talk people?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who are these people? We'll cap this off with the top comment here and see what that's looking like.
How many people do you know that speak Polish? I don't think I know anyone
I don't know
who's
anyone
ever
who speaks
spoken Polish.
Actually,
I don't know anyone who speaks Polish, but I'm from Amish country, so like they speak. I believe it's not Dutch, but it's like a form of Dutch.
yeah. What do they call that?
I think it's like King's Dutch or Old English or something. My ignorance is showing.
So let's take a look at that top comment. This is from a top 1% commenter on Reddit. That's very prestigious. That must be a lot of work that went into that. They say, "I hope you also made unnecessary trips to the bathroom and loudly."
Yes,
Dang.
absolutely.
Just keep the revenge going.
Dang.
Don't stop there. Just ruin this woman's life.
Yeah, just make it worse.
Yeah. Mess with her surgery next.
Yeah. Wow. Are we
I want
doing
to meet the
comments?
daughter.
Say what?
I want to meet the daughter. I go shake the daughter's hand in Russian. I want to meet the daughter.
Wheel her mother out on a wheelchair. She was getting released. All right. So what do you two think? You think you would have done the same? You would have, stuck it to the old Russian woman?
Yes, 100%. Yes, 100%. I actually agree with the first comment. I would have definitely said something, but waiting until the end is a good idea as well, just to see. I can continue to be nosy now, just for the rest of the, because now she's not speaking in Russian
That's
anymore.
true. You
So now I
gave the game
can't be
away.
nosy.
Yeah.
This is my entertainment for the hospital. Got to get something to keep me going.
That's a good point.
That's a very
Good
good
point. You
point.
could get a lot of tea out of that.
Yeah.
You could really learn a lot about this woman's life, and then your revenge might be a little better.
A little sweeter.
Yeah. But I don't know if I would have done it. Mainly because I don't know Russian. But if I did know Russian and I did interpret what she was saying, like, it's alright.
Okay.
Okay.
So, we like to switch it up here on Snacktime Reddit, and we'd like both of you to look into that camera and leave your own comment about, what you thought about the story.
Okay.
Who'd like to go first?
Good for you. Great job.
Hey, that's simple enough. It doesn't have to be anything crazy.
He stole mine. Next time, wait. Patience is a virtue. We can get a lot out of it. This could have been a long haul. You could have made a TV show out of this. She would have never known her life was in there. She just would have always had it in the back of her head. This seems familiar. Getting thoughts now about this. Getting thoughts about
Good, yeah.
more revenge thoughts.
No.
There's a new series we got
There's a monster growing inside of us.
Well, all right. Let's jump it to the next one. Okay, I think these kind of ratchet up as we go through them. So our next one here, again, our petty revenge. Neighbor took my parking spot after I shoveled it. I poured water on his windshield. It was a cold winter day. 8 inches of snow had fallen the night before, and the wind chill made it feel as if it was the negatives. We're talking Fahrenheit here. They specify Fahrenheit. I drive an all-wheel drive SUV, so I have no issues getting out. My wife, on the other hand, drives a Prius, which slides with the smallest amount of moisture on the road. My car was down at the time, so we had to take my wife's car. I spent 45 minutes in the freezing cold shoveling that car out so we could get to the store. We were gone for an hour, and when we came back, our neighbor had taken the spot I had shoveled. Initially, how does that make you feel hearing that?
I would expect that to happen.
I feel like that's expected if you're gone for like an hour. It feels kind of because clearly someone shoveled
this
that
is shoveled
spot.
this out.
Like spent some time shoveling that 8 inches of snow. But I would just assume someone would take that parking spot.
Well, and furthermore, if someone had cleared the parking space and shoveled it out, I would assume that they left for work for the day.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's very true. Let's continue. Our apartment complex doesn't have assigned parking, but in the winter, it's understood that if you shovel a spot, it's yours. I wonder how understood that really is. So when I saw his car in the spot I had just shoveled, I was pretty pissed. I went inside and filled 2-gallon jugs full of water. Went back out and poured them on his windshield. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. I must have poured about 10 gallons of water on his car. Because of how cold it was already freezing by the time I poured the last gallon on it. It sat like that overnight. The next morning, I got to watch as he helplessly tried to scrape all these layers of ice off his windshield. Don't take my parking spot.
Ouch.
That went so much crazy because I'm like, okay, you dump a gallon of water on the dude's windshield, it freezes over, he has to de-ice it in the morning. 10 gallons is a lot of water.
Imagine how angry this guy is that he's going back and forth into the house, out into negative-degree weather, just dumping a jug a gallon of water.
This is a lot of effort.
It is. And the neighbor is just living it up inside. They don't know what's going on.
But I feel like in the amount of time that it took you to take 10 trips in and out, you could have just shoveled a new parking space and parked somewhere else.
That's true.
And you were gone for an hour.
On a public street.
Yeah, is this like, I guess, I don't know if we have this context. Does each apartment, because there's like some apartment complexes, right, where you have a designated spot?
There are no designated spots.
Okay, then this guy's tripping.
Okay.
Spots.
They are tripping.
Which I found more and more common with apartment complexes. As you go in there, it's just kind of every man for himself, trying to get a parking spot.
And then this could, with that being the thing, if you say everybody in your apartment complex knows of this rule, what if it's somebody who's visiting? What if it's somebody's boyfriend and girlfriend staying the night?
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
think
true.
they were going to stay all
That's
night,
true.
but since they stayed all night, like, this could be somebody who doesn't even live there. They don't know what's going on.
That's a really good point, though. When I visit people's apartments, if I'm going to be there for a while, typically I'll park out on the street. I won't take up any of the spots. Because a lot of the like my sister's apartment, huge parking lot, full of cars every single time. And then once you kind of get towards like the inner city, you have apartments and you have like 3 parking spots to cover like all your apartments. So typically I'm out on the street if I'm there for any extended amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, my apartment complex, it's pretty big. Like, there's enough parking spaces that this isn't really a huge problem for me specifically.
Yeah.
And, like, if they don't shovel the whole parking lot, I'm not leaving anyways. So it doesn't really matter that much. But take all that aside, this reaction is kind of crazy. I don't even call this petty revenge. This is like
This is
absolute.
just revenge.
This is like vandalism. This is
You never calm down walking in and out of the house. Like, it's cold. It's freezing cold, and you're just
And
full
you're
of
lugging
adrenaline.
2 gallons of water out the door every single time.
I mean, if you had like a coffee in your car and you were upset, I could see you like maybe splashing someone's car. I think like that's someone's personal property, so I wouldn't even do that. I would just shrug and be like, it's whatever. It sucks, but like I got my groceries. I'm back home. It's cold outside. I'm gonna go sit on my couch. Maybe make some hot cocoa. You know, maybe that person's got other internal issues that they got to figure out. That's like God take care of that, you know. But I think this was extremely. That might be a crime, actually.
How dangerous is it to have that much water freezing over
On
your window?
over your windshield.
On your
I
windshield,
don't
just
know.
over
I know like
Guess-
pretty often like my mom's, she had just bought her new car. It was in the winter and like that thing cracked almost immediately. And when it's super cold, any cracks in your windshield they just grow over the days until they span the whole thing. Same thing happened to my brother's vehicle as well. So
It's my car right now.
they don't say that anywhere in here that there was any kind of damage to it. But that's a little risky. I feel like you could actually do damage to their vehicle.
Yeah, no, that's got to be a crime.
It reminds me of a TikTok though. Kind of off topic, but on topic. So somebody as well, took 45 minutes to shovel out a parking spot. And at first I thought you were reading that. But then when somebody took their parking spot, they came back out or came back. They didn't specify whether it was the next day or not. And as they were shoveling out a new parking spot, they put all the snow over that car that took their parking spot.
That's more reasonable.
That's more risk. I want to know what the common folk of Reddit are saying. So this user says, my dad used to love going Christmas shopping, so he could walk down a random parking lot aisle, slow down, get his keys out, wait for someone to. I don't understand what this person's saying, so I will choose a different.
That sounds like a Reddit comment right
I
there.
don't know if that's like properly laid out there. Okay. This user says, this is why Chicago has dibs. Disregarding dibs will often result in a broken windshield. So they went, I don't know, he was like on that track.
He's from Chicago.
What is dibs?
You call a spotted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But how would you know? Still, like, there's no cone there. There's nothing taping it off.
Someone
got it
shoveled
out.
this. I'm assuming I guess I could see it. It's not that deep.
I don't know. I don't know if I go breaking windshields. Maybe this user would. This user said, this is a deleted user, by the way, but their comment's still here. Says, my dad was petty AF. In the winter of '96 in the Philly area, he had shoveled a spot out from a few feet of snow. I can't remember why his car was gone for a minute, but when he got back, someone had parked in his spot. My dad was mad, so he shoveled himself a new spot. This is actually what you just said. Piles all the snow up and around the car in his original spot. He then shovels the neighbor some spots and did the same thing. So we went even further. He got like a couple more spots shoveled out, just buried this dude's car. Couldn't even see the car when he was done. So he just straight up buried a man's car.
Oh,
Is this like a
he
Midwest
was
thing?
angry.
What's going on?
This is serious. Do not. Now I know. If that looks like it's even been a little bit, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
take it.
stay out the way.
This is like a little PSA, like watch your back, like don't. And the top comment says, Monday night, we got about a foot of snow. A bit unusual for the area, so most people didn't go into work Tuesday. That means street parking is nearly full with unmoved cars covered in snow. Yesterday afternoon, I had to head out and pick up a few things. I shoveled my car out from the street parking spot. It probably took about 15 minutes. It takes a little while to move about like 3,000 or so pounds of snow off and around my car, and to dig a path through the snow plows. You know, snow plows leave a hole. You ever seen cars buried in like that when the snow plows get to them on the street?
My car's been buried like that.
That's bad. The whole time I had been shoveling snow from around my car, there was a lady waiting to take my parking spot.
Wow.
So I do what I must. I put the snow shovel in my trunk and I head back inside. So they didn't even leave.
And there you go. That's the answer.
They just said, nope, it's obviously not worth it.
Yep.
Wherever it's going, it's just not worth it.
So, now with this one, there is not quite an update, but a little edit of the OP, the original poster, responding to the comments.
I received a subpoena in the mail.
So this guy says, you guys need to chill. This isn't Am I the Asshole? I'm not looking for judgment because I already know I'm the asshole. The point of this sub is to tell stories of petty revenge. I'd say I was being pretty damn petty. Edit number 2 says, sorry, I find it so funny people are telling me I committed vandalism. No damage was done except for wasting like 5 to 10 minutes of this person's time. Ever hear of freezing rain? It does the same thing I did to this. So it does the same thing I did to this car. Never does any damage. This was also many years ago, and the cops haven't come to arrest me yet. I think I'm good.
It's nice to know that we weren't the only people thinking this.
Yeah.
You did a crime. You did.
But this guy's locked in. He's like, yeah, I'm the asshole. Like I'm ready.
I mean, all right, that's cool. As long as you know, I'm cool. Yeah.
He'll do it
Don't kid
again too.
yourself. Like he does. He does. He's the dude.
He's not ashamed of it. He's not. He's like, nope, don't take my parking spot. Don't take it.
OP, move your feet, lose your seat. That's all I'm saying. That's the comment I'm leaving.
You do you, man. I'm gonna stay out the way. I won't take it. I don't want the trouble. I don't want any trouble.
Also, that's a great way to get like beat up or something. Like if that person would have seen you dumping water on their car, that could have escalated, and that's unsafe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That.
Like if I saw someone pouring water on my car, I would have an actual. It would not be petty revenge. It'd be way worse.
Would be the cops or like something like that.
Yeah,
Or we
absolutely.
throw him down in the parking lot.
In the middle of winter.
Or
In the middle of winter.
I wait for you to finish, and then I got my own gallon jar.
That's petty revenge right there.
And bury his car. So you go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hire the snow plow to put all the
Yeah.
snow that they're
Yeah,
shoveling
yeah,
on
yeah.
top of this dude's car.
That's diabolical, though. You ice their entire car over and then bury it,
Yeah, that's crazy.
and then you ice that over,
And then pour some water on top of the
Yeah.
snow. Mm.
and you just like encase their car in ice.
I'm not doing it. I'm anemic. I'm going in the house. I will figure out a
You
plan
don't wanna spend
inside
next
of the house.
2 or 3 hours
Right?
icing this person's car. That might have gone a little bit far. Now this next one, though, when I read the title, you're gonna look at it and you're gonna be like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. And then when I read the end of the title, you're gonna be like, oh. So get ready for this one. And this is very petty. It sounds like to me. I put vegetables in all my food to stop my roommate's kid from eating it. okay, kind of petty, like kind of whatever. That's not like 10 gallons of water on your car. His mom threatened legal action.
Oh, yeah.
What? What?
So the original poster for this post is a young woman, 26 years old, and she says, "I live in a rented house with a single mother, 30, and her son, 6 years old. I had another person living with me, but they moved out and the mother moved in. I don't mind living with her and her kid. It's fine, and we kind of do our own thing. I spend a lot of time at my boyfriend's place or working, so our work schedules don't really collide and we don't interact that much. I want to start with saying that she clearly struggles financially, but I don't think that's an excuse. I don't make lots of money either. However, I noticed that my food would go missing or portions would be taken from it. I assumed it was her kid, so I asked her to stop him from eating my food. I was calm about it, and she just said she would. Didn't really upset me when it first started. It started getting annoying when I come home from work and expect to have a meal's worth of leftovers in the fridge, only to see it picked through or just gone. I kept bringing it up, and she started getting annoyed with me bringing it up. Just from observing them, I realized that neither of them ever ate vegetables. You guys eat your vegetables?
All the time.
Absolutely.
I do too. I don't eat as much as I should, but I do eat my vegetables. But apparently not these people. And judging by the food that would get picked through and the food that would be untouched, anything green in it was avoided. Orange chicken would be gone, but chicken and broccoli would be untouched. So I started putting vegetables in everything. I find vegetables to be delicious. And anything green or not a potato does not get eaten. So I can mix some bell peppers into the food and it would be fine. I make a big portion of vegetables pretty frequently anyway, so I started just putting it in everything I ate. If I had leftover mashed potatoes, I'd pour green beans in and mix it up.
Oh.
If I had leftover cheesy bacon fries, I'd pour broccoli all over it and mix it in. I don't know if I put broccoli on like my bacon and cheese fries, but
I was
Those are
with it
good.
until we started making weird combos.
anything to protect the food, I guess.
Those are good. You just it's
That's
like
fair.
it's like a
Broccoli
whole
and
thing.
cheese goes together.
Broccoli and cheese, and you put the fries. You got to add the ranch on top. It's a whole meal. You can buy it.
I'll have to give that a go.
I'll get you
I'll have to
one.
give that a go.
Gotta get you guys one.
Usually my homemade stuff has vegetables in it, but I started making sure everything did. I made a pot of mac and cheese, the kids' favorite thing, and I poured in roasted Brussels sprouts, which is actually delicious to me, and I'm eating more vegetables, so it's a win. She had been seeming annoyed, but we were all home when I made that big pot of mac and cheese. She was in the living room and saw me get out the Brussels sprouts and was like, "What are you going to do with that?" And I poured them in. She said I was being greedy and annoying. I just said, "I like Brussels sprouts," and that was it. She said, "We need food," and I told her to go get some. Or stop buying only prepackaged thing and your money will go further. I think she sees this as some big act of revenge, but I just simply want to be able to eat my food. I don't know, this does kind of seem like a big act of revenge, especially if you're doing it right in front of them.
You did also post it on a Reddit forum for revenge.
That is true. Also, I want to add that the sharing is not the issue. It's expecting to have food there, and then it's not. So often I'd be working a long day, get home expecting to have a meal's worth of food, and it's all gone. Or I wake up in a rush and had all my food ready to eat in the morning, and it's all gone. So now I have to skip breakfast. If she would simply text sometimes, "Hey, is it okay if we eat this?" I would know, and I would make other plans. I also think eating the last of someone else's food is crazy and rude. If someone made something and there is one serving left and you eat it without permission, that is evil as hell.
Yes.
I try my hardest not to finish anything off in the house. Sometimes that means that there's like a single sip of like orange juice or something in the fridge. But I always feel weird taking the last of anything. Because I live in a big house where it's like, I don't know if everyone got to have that cup of orange juice or whatever. So I try my best to always leave like a little bit left. I don't know if you guys do the same thing.
I mean, when I lived with my parents and was growing up, of course, it was just a rule that like you should probably just check it. It was just a common thing. No one's gonna say no. Let's be clear. No one's gonna be like, "No, don't eat that." Ah! No one's gonna do that. But it's kind of the same thing where I'm expecting to eat something, and like maybe I don't cook because I want to go eat something that's already made in the refrigerator that no one else has eaten for 2 days, and then I go to do it, and now it's gone. So I kind of get the premise behind this, but I'm also just kind of like,
This seems like a lot. This seems like a lot.
When I did live in a house, then I'm kind of with Johnny. I check. So like it'd be one was my sister, so it's not the same as a roommate. I'll eat my sister's food, but if it's just a random roommate, I may or may not eat your food, and that's the thing. Like, how comfortable are we together? How many conversations have we had? But when I did live with my sister, then it would be certain things that we would just tell each other. It'd be like, "Don't eat that. I'm coming back for it." But if it was just free for all, we'd just be like, and it'll be sitting in there for days. If it's in there for like 2-3 days, oh, that's anybody's, unless you specifically bought it or made it for yourself.
yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about. What's the dynamic of this roommate-ship?
So as far as I can tell, it's just a young woman, and she's just roommates with a mother and her son. They don't sound particularly close, but I mean, how close can you be if these people are just like taking your food?
They don't sound like they know each
After
other
you've
at
asked
all,
them
to be
not to
completely
do it.
honest.
So I can't imagine they're that close. I think it's just like we both live in this place together.
I mean, if we're talking roommate situation, like, my roommate and I, we're pretty cool. And, like, he likes Doritos and I like tortilla chips. So when we go to the store, if I get tortilla chips, I also buy Doritos. And, like, that's, like, understood. We're keeping it separate type deal. And, like, I think he cooks more. So if I see something in the fridge and I didn't make it, I don't eat it. And that's just like a rule. That's just like, for me, that's common sense, right?
Yeah.
And if I want it, I'm like, hey, man, you mind if I grab a slice of this meatloaf? And he's like, yeah, man, because I'm not going to eat it because it's in the fridge, right? so again, a lot of problems can just be solved by asking the question and communicating properly.
With just a simple text. Hey. And I'm really on another thing. Why is your 6-year-old son not eating any vegetables? And like, he doesn't even pick around the vegetables. He's not picking the chicken out of the chicken and broccoli. He's just not eating the whole dish.
Yeah.
He's just,
that's what it seems like. Well,
like,
she
forget
said in
it.
here too, the mom doesn't even eat vegetables. It's only none of them eat vegetables.
So nobody's eating vegetables in this family. We're
Except
just
for this
growing
one.
up
Yes.
not eating our greens. He's just no spinach.
That's asking for
Okay.
disaster.
That's, Jesus Christ.
As
Imagine
like,
school.
As a lifelong vegetable hater, when I was a kid, I was an extremely picky eater. And like, so I kind of understand even if a vegetable touched it, I won't eat it type thing. Because some dishes are like that, right? A big one for me is mushrooms on pizza. I like mushrooms on pizza now. When I was younger, picking it off didn't help because the mushroom essence is still it's still in that pizza.
It's still there.
You can't get rid of it. So I kind of understand that, but if you don't start your kids eating vegetables out young,
At least one.
they're not going to start until they're in like 20.
They're not going to do it then. If you don't have them eat young and teach them the importance of eating vegetables as you're growing up and young, by the time you're like 17, you don't even think that you need this.
Yeah.
By the time you're 30, you're dying.
Yes. But also, these people don't know how they cook either.
Yep.
So it's all they don't cook. They don't eat vegetables. They don't ever have their own leftovers. There's something crazy going on in this house.
There's some context I think we're missing. Because, like, otherwise, in my opinion, it's a mother's responsibility to take care of their child, not a roommate's responsibility to take care of their roommate's child. So I'm wondering, like, is there an agreement where, like, you know, they're both buying food and then maybe this person cooks all the food? Like, there's a dynamic I think we can't actually reach out and touch.
Yeah.
So maybe my opinion is a little invalid, but I don't know. It sounds like a personal issue. It sounds like a real problem.
I mean, the big thing I've learned in living with roommates or living with like my big family and siblings, there's something I truly do not want anyone to eat. That's going right in my room. That's going in the dresser drawer. That's going out of sight, out of mind. Nobody will even know I have it.
That's fair.
What if it needs to be refrigerated?
If it was in this situation, typically if it needs to be refrigerated, my name's going on it. If I don't want anyone to touch it, grab out the Sharpie, write on, this is mine, this is my thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop these people, though.
Probably
No.
not. It doesn't sound
No.
like it. My answer to this would be Mini fridge in the bedroom.
Yes. That'll probably knock out a
That'll
lot of
solve like a
things.
good amount of your problems.
Hopefully it's a lock on your bedroom door.
Yeah.
As it probably should be if
Start
you're
breaking
sharing
into
a
your
roommate.
bedroom.
Mini fridge in there. Or what she's doing, she's eating 10 times healthier now.
Yeah.
You know, I'd pick around it in a heartbeat. But what she's creating new dishes, she's involving time into it, she's having fun.
Yeah.
Is what she seems like. She's
Stuff.
gonna have a new cookbook by the end of this.
All right. Let's see what the comments are saying. Because I think we might all be in agreement here. This is kind of a bit much in terms of what the roommates are doing. So this user says, "You need to find a new roommate or a new place to live. That situation won't get any better."
Oh,
That's probably fair.
That's really obvious. I don't know how I didn't I didn't catch that
Get rid
one.
of her. Throw her out in the street with the kid. Another user says, "Yeah, sounds like the mom is very eager to hand you the job of buying the groceries and feeding her child."
it's not even like handing her the job though. She's not spending any money. She's not putting in on this food.
No, she's just been like elected to like, you're like the source of food for this house, so we'll just we'll dip in whenever we feel like it. She did mention that the mom and the child do buy groceries. They buy some prepackaged stuff, but clearly not enough to like really make it stretch and last. What I find funny is that if they're so hungry, neither of them will eat a vegetable. If they're that hungry, which is fair. That's fair. Let's take a look at that top comment, though. Ooh, top comment was deleted. Let's see the second top comment. The kid is just the mom's excuse. It's the mom who's primarily eating her food, too, which I kind of agree with. I feel like this might be kind of a more mom situation than the kid. But they also say, notice how the son has enough brain, and we didn't get to this part, so I'm assuming this is an update, but has enough brain to ask the OP for popcorn. If the son wanted some of the original poster's food, he would ask. If it's the mom who wants the food, cooked differently to the mom's taste. And that seems true, too.
It's a lazy mom
Because
situation.
she tried to stop her from throwing the Brussels sprouts into the mac and cheese.
The fact that she even had the audacity to ask or say anything about that, like,
What you doing over there?
right, you knew she wasn't cooking for the house.
She's at a restaurant. Can we get the Brussels sprouts on the side?
That makes me changes my mind a little bit. I didn't know the boy had at least, or the child had at least a sense, or at least to know too, hey, I need to ask for things that aren't mine. Or can I ask for this?
So, because we read that, let's actually look at the update and see if it adds a little more context. And
Oh, okay.
This is a bit of a long update, too. It's probably as long as the original story, so strap in. So the update says, so I've been steadfast with putting vegetables in everything. I put vegetables in things I never even thought of. This is carried on, and the mom calls me a jerk, but will not verbalize that she's eating my food. Now remember, in the title, the mom tries to take this to legal. Tries to turn this legal on them. So I think this is where that comes in. She just sees me making lasagna and adding celery and bell peppers in the layers, and she just watches from the sideline. I don't know if I would put celery and bell peppers in lasagna. I don't know if that's...
That sounds really
That
good.
doesn't... I don't know if that sounds good to me.
That sounds really good.
I'll let you have that. Okay, here we go, though. The only thing I can't add vegetables to is snacks like chips, or if I bake brownies and cookies. I would say the equivalent of that is putting, like, nuts in the brownies and nuts in the cookies. I feel like that's kind of on the same.
That's not the... I don't know. It's not greed.
It's not. But for me, I hate nuts and brownies. And I hate... I don't hate nuts and cookies, but I hate nuts and brownies.
No, that's real.
I can't stand it.
It's like it's just inconvenient. It's just inconvenient.
It's very
But it's not
inconvenient.
that good either. And it just kind of throws the whole thing off. It just, it kills it for me. They say, however, this is easily remedied by putting baked goods in a Tupperware and keeping them in my room. Shout out to me. Same with the chips. As I previously stated, the sharing is not the issue. Recently, the kid knocked on my door and asked if he could have a bag of microwave popcorn. I said, yeah, and gave him one. All of this would be way less annoying if she just texted, hey, can I have some of whatever, and waited for my response before just helping herself. I do feel for the mom because she clearly struggles with cooking and trying new foods. She is older than me and winces at the thought of biting into anything green, and it's spreading to her kid, but it's no excuse. A few days ago, I was making taco meat out of ground beef, and like usual, she was looking without looking. She was kind of side-eyeing the taco operation. She was off to the side watching my every move, but trying to look normal. I made a dish the day before that involved sauteed mushrooms and cut up peppers. So when the meat was almost ready, I opened the fridge, and she freaked out when she saw me holding the mushrooms. She said her son hates mushrooms, and I just poured them in the pan and mixed them along with cut up peppers. This caused her to react in a way I'd never seen from her before. She was yelling and stomping around the kitchen while the child just watched. I felt bad for her kid to have to see his mom like that. People were worried about her tampering with my food. I don't think she's the kind to do that, but if she did, I would report that right away. She was flipping out, but she didn't snatch my food or knock anything over. She was opening and slamming cabinets, and it was all very silly. Then she started going off about how she's going to get the authorities involved. I just told her sure, and that she needs to relax. She seemed genuinely upset and stressed, and I told her that I understand her that being a single mom is hard, but she needs to use government assistance more reasonably. So it sounds like these people are all kind of down on their luck. It doesn't sound like this is like the richest apartment in the world here. So come home with cold mac and cheese, sushi, and chicken from the grocery store, prepared foods, and blow through all of it. I suggested food pantries and buying ingredients that last a while, like potatoes. She said I was being condescending, and I always have food to eat.
What?
the last paragraph says, this is to address the just make a portion of your food and set it aside for her and for her kid. I do not make enough money to regularly feed 2 other people. If every now and then she asks for some of my leftovers, sure. But this is a consistent thing that was happening. It's not simple as giving her leftovers that I won't eat anyway. If I make a pot of something, I expect to live off that for the next few days. If it is eaten, then my money is messed up, and I have to go shopping again and budget for more food. Waste my time and money. That sounds like a pretty wild situation. So it's not like these people are just like straight up like eating all of her food.
It sounds like a lazy mom situation. Not just a mom that's down on her luck. You have the funds to go grocery shopping that will last you for at least a month. And you're buying prepackaged foods, snacks, chips. You're not sushi. You're not. We can't afford sushi. We're not.
I like sushi as much as the next person. Sushi's kind of expensive. And it's not a whole lot of food. And it's not all that filling. I would probably avoid the sushi. Or make your own sushi. Because you can buy like a dry bag of rice, some fish, get the imitation crab, doesn't cost all that much, and just roll that thing up and you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for the mom. I do. I feel for the mom. I see where she's coming from, but at the same time, like, you can't put your responsibilities on other people unwillingly. Yes. And I think unfortunately, that's what's going on here. The roommate sounds genuinely nice too. Like, yeah. They've helped out before, they don't mind cooking every now and then, here's a bag of popcorn, whatever. But it sounds like this mom is just not putting the effort in the right place, which is unfortunate for the kid, and for the roommate. And unfortunately, that's just an environment I think that, this is my comment, I'll just go right into it.
Yeah, go for it.
I think you need to leave that situation, and that mom needs to figure it out, and that's not your job.
I'm almost with the top comment here. Maybe new roommate or new place to live.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how to fix that problem.
Yeah. Or just store all your food at her boyfriend's place. She says she spends a lot of time there, so maybe that's where dinner's made from now on. It's in a whole other building, so they can't get to it.
And only leave my stuff with vegetables here.
Yeah. I just leave all the vegetables. That's it. I feel like, though, this all could have been solved by the mother just being like, hey, let's just do a household food budget. Let's just combine our money, go out, make a grocery list. We'll go grocery shopping together. We'll buy a whole thing. We'll stock it. one person likes to cook. So, like, as long as you're putting in the money, it doesn't sound like the roommate, you know, the young woman minds doing the cooking, as long as there's some, you know, reimbursement for it.
Yeah, I'd be curious how the living situation. I'd be curious how the living situation actually works itself out, because sometimes it's like a random thing, where like you just kind of, you know, hey, I want a roommate, and then they find you a roommate, and then like, I'm very much against roommates that you don't know. Like, I would rather live by myself and figure it out and pay a lot more money than, like, live with some rando who I don't know their lifestyle and their habits, and that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if she spends so much time somewhere else, you're kind of already at that point, so that's my final thought on it.
So this story, again, from our petty revenge, from top 1% commenter, badass bitch. That's the name. I didn't put the full username, but that's so you know they're real.
That's where it comes from. That's where that's how you get to be top Redditor status.
That's how you do it.
I'm very interested.
I got revenge on my stepdad for selling my dead grandmother's jade pendant necklace. Original poster, OP, is 23 years old, and she says, I lost my grandma due to COVID in January of 2022. I had just bought my grandma jade necklace pendant. I bought myself a rose quartz pendant. I'm assuming these are kind of matching pendants. Her necklace cost $200. And this was because it was wrapped in real gold, and it was a huge piece of jade. So that already gives me a whole ton of context. Like, you just bought this for her, and then she died, and then dude just goes and sells it. My mother's husband treated my grandmother and I horribly. He abused me for years and treated my grandma like a slave. My grandma raised all of my siblings and I. My youngest half-brother on my mom's side is my stepdad's son. Not even 24 hours after her death, my narcissistic mother, she calls her my N-mom, told me she would go through her room at the end of the week. So her mother would go through grandma's room at the end of the week. Not even a day after the grandma died. Not even 24 hours later, her room was cleared, and I noticed a fat wad of cash in my stepfather's hand. I asked my stepdad if I could have my grandma's jade pendant back. It was very important to me because it was hers and she wore it all the time. My stepdad told me that he sold it because everything in her room was his now. I was infuriated. I never felt that kind of rage before. So this has to be like the craziest revenge story in the world.
This is, yeah.
The following day, I plotted my revenge. While my mother and husband were gone, I got busy. For context, my mother and husband depended on me a lot while I lived with them. I took his brand new laptop that he bought from selling my dead grandma's jade pendant.
Yes.
And I filled the bathtub up with water.
Oh.
I dropped it in the water and left it there for a good 10 minutes. I took his laptop charger and cut a small hole that he couldn't see in it. I also made sure to dry the laptop off really well and put everything back where it belonged. I went even further. I took everything I bought in that kitchen and donated to people who really needed it. The air fryer I bought, donated. The microwave, donated. The plates, the bowls, the cups, donated. The pantry cabinet, donated. Donated the whole pantry. I took it up a notch. I don't know how much more we can go with this. I took all the toiletries I bought with my money out of the bathroom. I locked them all in the lockbox. You sell my dead grandma's pendant? No more laptop. No more of anything I bought. The icing on the cake, I had proof of purchase of my dead grandmother's pendant. I made his workplace aware that that he is a thief. That's a lot.
Ouch.
That's a lot.
Wow. There's a lot to digest on this one. There's like a lot of information to just like take in.
Yeah.
I think going to work was taking it a bit too far.
Yeah, I mean, you're no better than the next person when you start intentionally hurting them or, you know, breaking their stuff. I know we're talking about petty revenge, right?
This isn't petty revenge. This is just straight up like cold-hearted, like backstabbing.
And, you know, this is a very, you know, I get it. It's very emotional. You know, I'm sorry for this person's loss. this is also a family dynamic that I think we've seen, that we see a lot on Reddit, right? And unfortunately, there's not much you can do other than like take that elsewhere, right? It's the same situation as our last story, where I feel in this situation, you got your grandma a pendant that was worth $200, and as much as no one else had a right to have that or sell that, that's a $200 loss. And you know where this person's priorities are, and you know that relationship. The sentimental value, I feel like, kind of gets, and maybe this is a hot take, the sentimental value of something gets taken away when you kind of turn it into this revengeful attitude. So for me, I feel like, as unfortunate as it is, just get out of that environment. Breaking their stuff, taking all the stuff that you paid for and hiding it, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
Donating it all, yeah.
Donating all that cool stuff, that's fine. But when it comes to like a tit for tat situation, that's not really revenge anymore. That's just stooping down to the same level. So I have mixed feelings on it, I guess.
I find they have no kitchen right now. Like, so they have they have the stove and a fridge.
Yes.
If she didn't take everything she cooked to. So like, it's a very, I agree with you. It's very emotional. It's very emotional. It's touchy. It's a touchy subject to really touch on, because at the same time, yes, you did. You bought that necklace. That was your necklace. I understand that you wanted it back. Take it a step further, you ruined this guy's laptop that he bought with that necklace.
Oh, he bought the laptop with the necklace?
The necklace.
Oh, I missed
Yes.
I was going to say, when it came back around to me, I'm 100% all up.
Sorry, not to cut you off.
No, you're good. I'm speechless, honestly. That was a lot. It was a lot.
This is a lot. This is
Took
a
the
lot.
whole kitchen. I'm imagining him coming home trying to work his laptop. He's going to first think it's the charger. He's going to take it, get paid for it so somebody can look at it.
Yeah.
She took the whole kitchen. She took the laptop. And I got you fired. And when you boil it down to it, I did all of this over $200.
Yeah.
When you take out the emotional contact, I did all of this over $200.
The sentimental value, I fully understand that that's their headspace right now. But I don't, OP, this is not the way to handle that situation. I guess maximum penalty would be sell the laptop back. Sell the laptop again. You know, maybe.
To get the money back.
Yeah, you know, maybe if we're doing along the same line, and we're trying to get to the same petty revenge level, maximum penalty would be, you know, because now you've broken it. You can't get that money back in any way. You took something that was bought for $200 and you just destroyed it.
Yeah.
So you officially wasted the money.
Yeah.
I do understand, though. To her, it's not about the money. To her, it's about she can't get this necklace back, period. She can't get it back.
It's
Not the one her grandmother was
I
wearing.
mean, and if
That's fair.
it was in that situation, maybe I would try to track down like where that necklace actually went. So I'm assuming it probably went to like a pawn shop, or so it was sold back to some like jewelry place. So maybe you could sell the laptop, maybe dig around through the stuff, try to find like a receipt or something, and maybe go get that back. But I don't know. I'm all for all of this. I wouldn't personally do this. This wouldn't personally be my revenge. But I think like when you factor in the fact that this dude's like super abusive and has like treated her and her grandmother like garbage for like a good few years. Her mother doesn't really seem to be on her side either. She describes her as narcissistic. Stole the necklace. Got paid with it and then bought a laptop with it. I don't know.
That's fair.
That's
No,
fair. That's fair.
That's and if you take the monetary value out of it, like this is just a horrible family dynamic. I'm sorry.
absolutely.
I'm sorry you have to go through that.
Yes, I would 100% be out of it.
That's awful. That's awful.
And so I will actually go right into the update because it is super short. It's just a single sentence. But the update is I moved out in May. So she moved out in May of the same year.
Yes.
And she has been in no contact with them for a long time. So the way I look at this is like her kind of like, I'm out of here.
That's a good outcome.
You know, no more kitchen. No more toiletries. No more laptop. No more me.
No, I
I'm
think
like, I'm gone. I'm out of here.
I think that's a good. It's the best outcome.
And if that's, and we did say in the first one, that's how you would do it.
Yes.
You got to get it right at the end.
Yes.
You got to make your final
That definitely
exit.
took my comment. I was gonna say if they're depending on you that much, you should go ahead and get up out of there.
Yes.
If you were only, it sounds like she was only there for grandma. If she's already gone and she's out, it sounds like she was really only there for grandma.
That is what it sounds like. Because she did say, like, pretty much the entire house depended on her being there. So once, the one person that gave a damn about her was gone, she was free to go, essentially. Is what it sounds like. So that's about the most
With the
thorough,
kitchen.
perfect revenge I think you could probably take in that situation. I don't know what more you could do to them. I think you got them. Nice job. Let's see what the comments are saying. This user says, go to the police. Find out where you sold your pendant and get it back. It's yours. You have proof of purchase. It's yours now. Probably. I wonder how that would turn out because, I mean, technically it isn't hers because it was a gift to her grandmother, and I don't know if there's any like legal expectation that it would go back to her once she had already gifted it. But I don't know. You might be able to get somewhere with the police.
I would hope so.
Maybe. Another user here says, I hope they got good and hot over the kitchen appliances. Your revenge was dished out perfectly. That'd be kind of crazy to me. You walk in the kitchen,
Everything's
no microwave,
gone.
no air fryer. The pantry's just gone. Not the food in the pantry. There's the whole pantry. The cabinet's gone off the wall.
Where's my butter knife?
The dishes are gone.
So you have nothing to eat on.
You got like a fridge. And maybe some like plastic wrap in the drawer.
Well, you have whatever that house came with
Yes.
and what you bought. And it doesn't sound like you bought too much. So you have literally whatever the house came with and nothing to cook with.
Yeah, maybe next time though, don't donate it. If you're gonna plan on moving out, you could have probably taken that stuff
probably
with
would've
you.
I
Probably would have kept it, but good on you though.
Maybe that because she went so hard on the revenge, she's like, let me do a little bit of good for the people.
Hey, I mean, it's good that you gave it to someone who
Yeah.
needs it. That's good.
It's not like she was trying to. You took my grandmother's necklace and you sold it. Well, I'm just gonna take all of this stuff and I'm just gonna give it away.
Yeah.
It was like she was like, it's not even about the money for me.
It's from my
about,
grandma.
Right. All of this stuff is gone. I'm not getting that necklace back. I don't want any money. I don't want your $200. All of it's gone. Toiletries. Oh my God. What toiletries? Did you take the toilet paper? Did you take the toilet?
That's what I'm assuming.
Took it all.
I'm assuming.
Took it
Because
all.
the shampoo and conditioner are definitely gone. She locked them in the lockbox, she said. The toilet paper, I don't know, sometimes I like to go out and buy a big like thing of toilet paper and you're good for like the next 2-3 months.
That's
All
deep.
of that gone.
Toothpaste gone.
Toothpaste.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm kind of the toiletry buyer for my house.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude had no right to even. Yeah, that dynamic
Not
is.
to pack up and sell it. But like you said in the beginning, he didn't give a crap about the grandma. He doesn't give a crap about the mom. I'm happy you got out of there, to be completely honest. I'm happy you just packed up, took all the toiletries and left.
Yeah.
Don't buy anything else for the house. Check on mom every now and then, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for a little more context, what it sounded like is they straight up just like in a day cleared out grandma's room and like all of it was gone, everything, including the necklace,
Dang.
which is pretty crazy.
That's pretty messed up.
I mean, normally, like in the family, like grandma passes away and everyone gets a little something, but apparently not in this household. I guess it all goes to that laptop. So now they got to choose between a laptop, whether he wants to buy a new laptop, whether he wants to be able to cook food or go to the bathroom. And that's probably the pettiest revenge you can get on a person. I'll read the top comment here and then we'll end it off. I'm sorry for your loss. You did an excellent job in exacting your revenge. And I'd say so. I don't know if you get much more revenge than that.
Yes. No, you get a hand clap from me.
You took the kitchen, you took the bathroom, you took the laptop, and you hit the guy at the job too.
You know what? I take it back. Well said. Well executed. I'm glad you're in the 0.1% of Reddit.
That's why she's called badass bitch. Like, you shouldn't have with her. That was
There you go. There you go.
Oh.
Johnny, Amara, thank you both for joining me on this episode with Our Petty Revenge.
Thanks for having
Of
us.
course, like I mentioned, we do have one extra story left over, and I think we'll come back to it at a later date. Definitely got to revisit Petty Revenge.
Yes.
And maybe we'll have you both back on for that one.
Yeah, maybe we do like a butter-only episode.
I'm curious for the butter story. I am.
That's going to be a good one. So we definitely got to come back and hit it up. And we'll make sure it's there next time, right? We'll save it, make sure it's there. Doesn't get deleted or anything like that.
Quick side note, I was listening to another YouTuber read Reddit stories, and there was a story involving butter. It was very interesting, though. It was gross. But
Butter edition. Next time. Snacktime Reddit. Butter edition.
Straight butter stories.
But again, thank you both for joining me. Before we head out of here, though, we do have a big announcement for an event we have coming up at the end of the month. Would either of you like to introduce it? Or do you want me to?
Mari, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Right to the camera.
It's called Women Behind the Lens. You'll check out a couple people from Studio Zero, downtown, not downtown, but in University Circle. We're just going to talk about how women are in the film industry, how it is to be a woman in the film industry, not how women are. It's a predominantly male. It's a male-dominated field, if I could talk. Sorry. It's a male-dominated field. There are very few women. I think last time I looked at numbers, there are like 14% women in the entire film industry. This is not including actors. So just work behind the camera. Sometimes we direct, sometimes we write. It's more than just hair and makeup. It's more than just nails or acting. You can do pretty much anything in the film industry. Going to be showing some of the things that we did, talk about some of the things that I've been into as far as editing, producing, and behind the camera. And yeah, that's about it actually. That's Women Behind the Lens.
No, it's great. That's March 28th at University Circle Inc. So we'll have a link to that Eventbrite in the description of this video. So I believe it's a free event. So if you're in the Cleveland area and you want to stop in and check it out, y'all kill it. By the way, y'all kill it around here. So I can't wait for that event.
Is this something I can be like, click below if I like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. You gotta click. You gotta put it there. Click right there.
Yeah.
That's perfect. So I want to thank you all for watching another episode of Snack Time with Reddit. Again, thank you both for joining me. See y'all next time.